Hi. No. Please, let's just make this Stephanie's morning of squash recipes.
Kabocha. Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Rude, here's my point. I know what you're going to say about this. So these are the 10 GOP senators. Obviously Biden's plan, 1.9 trillion. So it has received Republican opposition, which is so shocking to you, I know. And now 10 Republican senators Susan Collins, very concerned that perhaps this might not be bipartisan. They requested a meeting with Biden to discuss so there's this 160 billion, which is
well, it's actually
a compromise. First of all,
it's actually 600 billion. Their whole plan is 600 billion. It's still just less than a third.
Yes,
but it's I mean, I want Biden. I really want Biden just to take the plan, stick it down the back of his pants, wipe his ass with it, and hand it back to them and say, meeting over.
Yeah, I'm with you. On that. Yeah, this is Tommy Vitor from PodSave said, frustrating to watch Sunday show segments about the impending surge of COVID cases and how much states need relief, followed by pearl clutching about bipartisanship. No one cares that the legislative process makes Susan Collins sad. They want a vaccine. They need to pay rent. Period. Right?
Yeah. And I mean, if Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema really want power, imagine how much power they'd have if there was no filibuster.
Right.
I mean, it would all come down to what they want to get to that 50 votes. The other thing that it could do is force some of those moderates to say, okay, I don't want to be caught not supporting this.
Yeah. Yes.
And so, there's every political reason to get rid of the filibuster instead of, listening to Mitch McConnell lie about the great tradition of the filibuster that only goes back to 1975.
Yeah, I say, do this through budget reconciliation. Get, obviously that's job one is COVID relief. And then can the filibuster. By the way, could we pause to say Travis told me to switch my iPad around so that you can't see the mic anymore. Did you get a screenshot where you can make a D joke about me later? Did you get
I haven't seen anybody go to that kind of effort.
Well, they lost their chance.
Opportunity, Rude Pundit, because now so you can't see the giant phallic microphone in my face.
It's forever etched in my memory, so because it reminded me of my nights with you.
Oh God, that was back when I was drinking. Rude Pundit stayed with me.
Yeah,
it could have happened. Okay.
Nights of raw fish.
Yes, I took him out for sushi. That was his 10th.
The angel's labia.
An angel's labia. Now, and by the way, since we solved a lot of the technical problems over the weekend, guess what I did? I dropped my iPad face down. So you all look like you have spider veins across your faces, but it's fine.
Oh, that's from the drinking. Those
are there? Okay, never mind.
Yeah. And by the way, just to get another kick in the groin up here, we're in a blizzard. So a pandemic blizzard.
I know. Oh my God. Yeah, you're gonna have to quarantine.
Safe.
That'll be a new experience for you. You're gonna have to hunker down, stay home. Yikes.
Oh yeah. No, I luckily I bought extra whiskey for the event.
Yeah.
So yes, my day is set.
Okay, so I don't know where we start with. I guess Marjorie Taylor Greene. We'll start with that. She said, "I won't back down. I won't apologize." Yeah. And you said you deleted Facebook posts where you said insane S. That's backing down. So you're a liar too. And by the way, and then you retweeted almost no Republicans have condemned the words and actions of Marjorie Taylor Greene. And you said this is why the country's in danger and why Democrats need to do everything they can now before these maniacs complete the job of wrecking the joint. How do you work with Marjorie Taylor Greene? Please, now more than ever, screw bipartisanship. They have no interest in working in goodwill.
Or again, say that what you want to be bipartisan, come together to condemn the crazy conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, we can't. No, a congressperson shouldn't say, "Let's put a bullet in Nancy Pelosi's head." We can't agree that person doesn't belong in Congress. We can't agree Joe Biden won the election fairly. I mean, this is why they're uncomfortable about like Trump's impeachment of defense being, the election was stolen, because even these Republican senators, we can't vote for that. They just want to vote for it's unconstitutional, right?
Yeah. And, I don't understand. Are you okay with Marjorie Taylor Greene believing that Hillary Clinton wore the face skin of a child as a mask? You
Oh my,
know,
I
which
needed,
is,
well, I need you to explain a lot of dirty things to me, but that, I hadn't even, it's actually called a thing. It's called Frazzle Drip. That's the QAnon. It's a,
frizzle
they
drip.
say there was a
What?
file. This is from Rude Pundit's piece this week. There was a file on Anthony Weiner's laptop. They claim contains a video that shows Hillary Clinton and Weiner's wife, Huma Abedin, torturing a child, including wearing her face skin as a mask in order to scare her. So her blood, you said it's also effing awful, including and dumb. And anyone who believes it should not be effing allowed in Walmart, let alone Congress. What kind of sickos even think of this stuff?
Yeah,
You're
yeah. You scare you know. Here's the thing, though. You think the idea is you scare the child so that the adrenal gland releases the adrenochrome, so you can get it when you drink the child's blood. But you'd think that cutting the face off would scare the child enough, just in theory.
But that makes it a one-use child.
I don't. Okay.
That's right. You could just use that to scare the other kid. That's brilliant, Travis. You know what? At the next meeting, I'll bring that up as a more efficient strategy.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
good.
But I can't believe I have to get reacquainted with my bleep button now that Rude is here. I can't ever remember where it is.
Uh-oh.
Where, if you were a bleep button, where would you be, Chris?
I would be labeled bleep.
Yes, you would. Oh, there it is.
Okay, good.
Okay.
You said this is the kind of the Republicans and the news media ignore when they're asking Democrats why they're not unifying the Congress of the country. It's beyond ludicrous. Democrats are being asked to work with people who've stated that they should be killed by mob law. You don't unify with your terrorists. You unify with others to get rid of the terrorists, and you tell anyone who wants to let the terrorists terrorize without consequences to go themselves. Oh, I found that just in time.
Yes.
Instead, we're supposed to be worried that President Joe Biden is citing a lot of executive orders to the country that the terrorist leader. Thank you. I mean, why would you even ask people, why aren't you unifying really with people that just voted to overturn our democracy and
Right.
and for a violent insurrection? I mean, at least 5 congressmen, that's the news story this morning, Rude, have ties to these extremist groups.
Yeah. Well, they rely on them for fundraising. They rely on them for campaign, for their campaigns. I don't understand why this can't just be, you can't say, you know what, let's set a standard here. You're right. We agree with you. We agree with you that this should not be allowed. And we agree with you as Republicans that we don't want this to be our party. And if they don't do that, then what they are saying is that we want this to be our party. We're okay with it. Because, if crazies get elected as Republicans, that's good for us.
I mean, between Kevin McCarthy's meeting with Velveeta Voldemort this weekend and Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, oh, I just talked to Donald Trump and he completely supports me. You're like, wow. I have to say, Rude, the liberal helper part of me is done. I'm like, good. Tie yourself to Trump. You've already lost the White House, the Senate, and the House. Like, don't advise them. Like, good. This is good. Tie yourself right to. I mean, they were saying even the House races they won, they did way better than Trump. They don't need Trump. They're just still scared and traumatized, and think they need him. And I'm like, good. Tie yourself to this stupid anchor that's going to take you to the bottom of the ocean, right?
Yeah, but the thing about that, though, is that right now in state legislatures, Republicans are trying to make voting much harder for people who would traditionally vote Democrats, namely, generally African Americans.
Yeah.
And so they, Georgia is working on all kinds of things to try to limit voting. So that's another thing that they can do if they get rid of the filibuster, is they can strengthen voting rights. It's like if Republicans are doing everything they can through whatever legal means and illegal means, but whatever legal means they can use to limit voting, why don't we do what we can to say we're expanding voting?
They don't play by rules, Rude. I mean, as you said, Newt Gingrich tweeted, AOC and Maxine Waters are part of a lynch mob that was trying to destroy Congressman Marjorie Greene. And you said you're accusing a black woman of being part of a metaphorical lynch mob when you come from a state where real mobs lynched 500 black people. Stay classy as Newt. I mean, it's just, they've always been awful. This is just a different, more outward iteration of it, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and he's there trying to say, as he's a historian, and as a historian, this is a lynch mob, and it's like, God, you know how ridiculous it is, how tired I am of Republicans calling something a lynch mob that is not even remotely close to a lynch mob, while we have, things that we could call actual lynching still going on in the United States.
Yeah.
By cops.
Like the lynching that they actually built a gallows for.
They built a gallows for, yeah.
Yeah.
They were threatening to actually lynch people.
Right. Right. I don't know what the rules are anymore. Are we able to call them like a lynch mob when they actually build a gallows to lynch someone? And when they say turn the gas on in the tunnels when you get the Congress people down there, are we allowed to call them Nazis yet or no? Is that still rude?
No. We can call them that now. I think all bets are off. I think post riot, and by the way, if you want to know what the real P riot was, it was that. If you want to, if you go in there doing exactly what every lynch mob has ever done, which is they generally went in and got people out to lynch them in public, then yeah, you're the lynch mob. And I think it's also rich that Republicans are constantly talking about the liberal mob coming for them when they talk about, not being able to say racist, terrible things on Twitter, for instance, when there was an actual physical mob that went in.
Josh Hawley he's been whining nonstop about being silenced on Fox News.
Yeah. In writing editorials.
Stand down to the lynch mob. It's like, no, you had the actual lynch mob. You incited the lynch mob, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, and by the way, QAnon, is it Veronica? Yes, Veronica was getting jealous of all the attention QAnon Betty was getting. So Lauren Boebert piped in to beat up on David Hogg, the teenage shooting survivor from Parkland. And you just said these vile don't give a damn about the trauma others have suffered.
Yep.
I mean, did you see that even another Parkland mom talked to Marjorie Taylor Greene and she said, as a mom, do you believe this? And she said no, but she, of course, will not say it publicly. She will not disavow saying all these shootings are false flags or it didn't happen or they're crisis actor. I mean, it's okay. They're just, this isn't even partisan. They're just awful, awful humans, Rude. They're awful. I mean, if you've ever looked in Fred Goldman's eyes, like I have, they're big pools of pain that never go away. Yeah. And
and you look at that video, and I had found that video. It wasn't even hiding the video of Marjorie Taylor Greene pursuing David Hogg across D.C. But it was actually just on her page. It was just the first video on her page. It was there. I don't understand why that wasn't brought out in the election. It wasn't in hiding.
Yeah.
And thank you for your solidarity with us in here in LA. You said, I swear, give these a plot of land in Montana or some place and let them live there unvaccinated until they reach immunity or die.
Yep.
About them shutting down Dodger Stadium so other people can't get vaccinated. It's
you know what though? It's LA. They should have just said we're giving out free Botox.
Over here, free Botox. Yeah. All right. Rudeness, love you.